What's going on? All right, about to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So today is what I want to talk about because this is one topic and one conversation that I feel people get really delusional. People just get unrealistic and they start making claims that they cannot support. And I think I know people just misunderstand. They think certain things you say is blasphemy because you can't say that. It's not politically correct. You're supposed to say, you know, that's just bullshit, man. We don't live our lives like that. There's many people that do, but I don't. I'm not politically correct, and I don't believe in that nonsense. Okay, if I like chocolate over vanilla, you're not gonna make me say, oh well, I really do like chocolate better, but I'm gonna say vanilla because everybody want me to say vanilla. No, you know, I like what I like. You like what you like. But this is based on being like, look, people not being realistic. Okay. So we're talking about Bruce Lee. Now, growing up watching Bruce Lee, I thought as a kid you looked at Bruce Lee like the baddest man on the planet because Bruce was just Bruce, man. You know, everything about the movies, the way he fought in the movies, his movies, his fight scenes, not the jump scenes. All of that's bullshit. When you got people standing around, hopping around, waiting their turn to come at you. If you ever seen anybody get jumped or been jumped anybody or whatever, you know you swarm a guy once, and you all, you don't stand back and wait one at a time. But the actual fight scenes looked more like somewhat the way a fight would actually happen versus, when they had the long ponytails. Master Chi, you know, Sing Sing killed father. We must avenge his loss. They had the long ponytails, the thick eyebrows. Okay. But here's what we're talking about, man. We always felt like Bruce was the man. Now, when you start actually maturing to understand, okay, this was my thing. And this is not a rant against Bruce. I don't rant at all. I just relate, okay? We talking, we have adult, mature conversations. Here's the point that I want to make that a lot of people don't make. Okay? For one, Bruce Lee was human. Okay? He was not superhuman. When he was doing this, on Chinese Connection, right? You do know that was special effects, right? You guys do know that wasn't really his hands doing it, right? Bruce Lee can't shoot fireballs out of his hands. Okay? He doesn't. Oh, you can. That Street Fighter. He doesn't do that. Okay. Bruce has great respect throughout the martial arts world. Okay. Here's the point that a lot of people seem to just misunderstand. Okay. First of all, Bruce Lee was not a professional fighter. Okay. I don't give a shit how much studying you do, how much practice you do, and then occasionally challenge somebody or what. I don't care about what legend says, what people said. Well, I was told. I don't care about that. Okay. He wasn't a professional fighter. Okay. And Bruce Lee has had interviews. Look it up. Type in the search about Bruce Lee says XYZ or whatever. Bruce Lee. Okay. He wasn't a professional fighter. Okay. I'm not saying he couldn't hold his own in a fight. What I'm saying is this, okay? We're not talking about fighting some meatballs, okay? Some, guy who throws a kung fu suit on and no. Here's my point. I can say, what's Floyd Mayweather's record? His fight record. What's Sugar Ray Leonard's fight record? What's Rocky Marciano's fight record? What's Conor McGregor's fight record? Okay, what's Bruce Lee's fight record? So when we're comparing these guys as fighters and rating these guys as fighters, we're doing it based on their fights that they've had, the fights that they won, how they looked in these fights. What fights have we seen Bruce Lee have? Do we know how well Bruce Lee can take a punch? Do we know if he can take a body shot? Do we, people say things like Bruce Lee had superhuman strength. I've literally read comments where people was, Bruce Lee have superhuman strength, man. That guy had the power of a super heavyweight. He'd knock out Mike Tyson with one blow. He'd knock out Muhammad Ali. Those guys would be too slow to hit him. They wouldn't be able to. And it's like, where are you getting all this bullshit from, man? First of all, what have you seen? Now, like I said, let's make sense, okay? I want people to just think. What have you seen that showed Bruce Lee had super heavyweight power? You mean him kicking the guy on like Return of the Dragon and the guy flying backwards? Who the guy was no bigger than he was? You talking about the demonstration, how he took his hand and palm straight the guy to the chest and the guy flies back in the chair? Okay, let me just break this down too. Even in that situation, the guy is standing squared up with both feet facing. It's not like he had one foot behind him where how you fight in your fight stance. I'm 240 pounds. If I stand here with both feet facing, just nothing, to support, yeah. A smaller guy could push me and make me stumble backwards. But the point, what I'm saying, what fights have you seen to make you say, he would have knocked out Ali, he would have knocked out Mike Tyson, he would have beat Sugar Ray Leonard? First of all, you have people that train, dedicate their life to a sport. This is what they do. And you're going to tell me that an actor that studies martial arts is going to jump in a boxing ring and knock out Muhammad Ali? He's going to beat Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard. You guys who say things like in a street fight, he would beat them, you don't know that. I mean, the fact that he knows how to use his feet as well as his hands, I can understand the argument of, okay, he, as far as an all-out fight where he can do different things with his hands and feet, elbows, knees, that they don't know how to do. But a street fight, nobody's going to be in there fighting as if there's rules. So you got to understand. So let's just say, if he could beat these guys in a street fight, I doubt very seriously Bruce Lee would beat Mike Tyson in a fight, man. Now, Bruce Lee himself, look it up, said in an interview, Muhammad Ali would kill me in a real fight. So what his point was I would have to do more than, I couldn't stand, he's too big. I could not just stand there and, do what you see in the movies. He's like, movie fighting is movie fighting. It's not real fighting. So when we're saying Bruce could have did this and this, what are we going by? What legend says, well, people said this, and there's other respected guys who say, I don't give a fuck what people said. I have neighbors that tell me Bigfoot is real. Bigfoot is real. I know for a fact Bigfoot is real. And you ask them that one simple question that debunks everything they say. Have you ever seen one? Well, no, but I've heard. Okay, end of conversation. I can fucking sit here in this car and say, yo, listen, y'all can't see it, but Godzilla's walking by. Would you believe me? Why not? There's a giant ape jumping on top of the buildings, running across. Holy shit. Would you believe me? But because Bigfoot has a legend behind it, and people want to believe it. Just because you want to believe something does not make it true. So we're saying Bruce can do this and this based on what? Chinese Connection, Enter the Dragon, Return of the Dragon, The Big Boss, or Fist of Fury. This is what we're basing this on. We are not his Kato show where he played Kato, right? The Green Hornet. We're not basing this on actual fights. This is why I say, how the fuck can I take a guy who's not a professional fighter and say he jump in the ring and destroy Conor McGregor, man? Bruce was 132 pounds, okay? For all of you that, size ain't everything. Yeah, I've seen plenty times smaller guys beat up bigger guys. I'm not a small guy, but I beat up guys much bigger than me. So, yeah, I know size is not everything with every single fighter. But when I talk about a couple of meatballs, so you honestly think, do I think Sugar Ray Leonard can get in there and punch and to kick with Bruce, try to fight at a martial. No. Who the fuck is that stupid? But at the same time, you guys think Bruce can just jump in a boxing ring, put on gloves, and he's just gonna outbox a motherfucker who boxes for a living. And Bruce is not a fucking boxer. A Shaolin monk, I've seen videos. For anybody who hasn't, go right here on YouTube. They have videos where like Shaolin monks, type in like Shaolin monk versus MMA fighters and stuff like that. They have like a league where they got guys from all these different styles. These Shaolin monks be getting knocked the fuck out. One punch. I've heard many Shaolin monks say, I've been in the temple for X amount of years studying Kung Fu and I've never thrown a single punch at one person. It's about discipline and self-growth and all this. No problem, I get you. This is my point. Fighters train. Your face has to get used to getting hit. Your body, you have to, it's not the same, man, as you, even like karate. Like when people was comparing, like they got pissed at Michael Jai White for saying he could beat Bruce Lee. Listen, I don't care about the opinion of who you think would have won. Like to try to express these points. We'll never know, but my take is this. Michael Jai White is 35 pounds. Bruce is 132 pounds. To sit here and say, well, maybe he'll beat him because he's bigger. And that's the only reason he'll beat him. Bruce is more skilled. All I'm saying is based on what? Now, at least Michael Jai White does have videos. There's a couple of videos with him actually sparring. Tournament sparring fighting. Okay. Bruce has one video. There's only one video of Bruce sparring. So all these fantasy fights that people say that they saw, it's amazing because there's only one. Bruce has on all black. His face is covered. His opponent's face is covered. They point out on the screen who's Bruce Lee. It's a point system. Right? Try. Oh, okay. That is not the same thing as somebody trying to break your fucking rib, trying to break your jaw constantly. Just, you understand what I'm saying? A point system. Okay? I respect the game for what it is. But you cannot take that and then say, oh, he would beat this guy based because he did this. Listen, like I said, do we know how well Bruce can even take a punch? You're saying Bruce was, look, you know a fight that I'm glad that happened, okay? And I have nothing against Royce Gracie, but do you know this fight that it was him and Matt Hughes? If that fight never happened, legend would say, nah, Gracie would have beat him. He'd have found a way to beat him. Because he beat Ken Shamrock. He beat Darren the Beast Severn. Look, let's be real about something. And I have those fights on disc. I have those fights. I got, I think from UFC 1, I have a bunch of them from the very first UFC. Because it's fighting and I'm into fighting, it was like, okay, I watch it, but I couldn't really get into it as a sport. It was just like, because it was something rough and full contact. I watched it. If you look at the UFC right now versus back then, it's grown tremendously with the talent. Though these guys, now you have guys that's been studying these martial arts since they were small coming into this, man. The inception was different. These guys are far more skilled, man. They used to pull hair. They used to wear karate gi and different clothes. They would hold on, pull clothes. No disrespect to Royce Gracie, but I found most of his fights to be boring. You see the way he kicked? He had no kick. He throw that little front kick just to keep distance. Royce Gracie basically depended on getting close enough to you where he could grab you and choke you out. And most of his fights were spent with him moving around, a lot of holding and, you know, trying to jock for position. And when he fought Matt Hughes showed what you learned and studied with your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was not enough. The game has advanced. Do you think that Bruce Lee wouldn't have learned more? You think that he learned all he could learn? So when people say Bruce Lee's the godfather of MMA, he's never fought MMA, man. So what I'm saying is, just because you study, like I've seen guys shadow boxing look sweet, getting an actual fight, it's different when something's coming back at you. So all I'm saying is, how do we sit and judge a fighter and what he can do based on movie fighting? because we have no fights to go by. Plus, who was his opponents? You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, we used to go, look, Kimbo Slice went from yard to yard doing backyard fights. We grew up doing that kind of shit. Bare knuckle or gloves. We grew up doing that kind of shit because we grew up in the ghetto. So that's what we did. And sometimes you would go to fight a guy and then, oh, motherfucker, if we had these gloves on, it'd be different. Well, motherfucker, the gloves are off. Let's rock. You understand what I'm saying? And people could take any Kimbo Slice footage, make a highlight reel and say, the greatest fighter to never get signed as a fighter, which he did. And I credit Kimbo for having the heart to go in there with skilled fighters that's been doing this shit forever. And he went in there and he had the heart to compete, man. You can't take nothing away. People, oh, Kimbo was overrated. No, Kimbo Slice wasn't overrated. Kimbo Slice never claimed to be an MMA. He said, I'm not an MMA guy. I'm not a boxer. I'm a fighter, and I put these up, man. I'm about to put these hands up. He was a bona fide, certified street fighter that basically got that blessing to go to the UFC for a little bit, Bellator. He boxed for a little bit, and people, if he's all that, why don't he fight Klitschko? Why the fuck would you put him in there with someone that you know? Come on, man. He was not ready for Klitschko. He wasn't ready for the top level in MMA. This is the ignorant stuff I'm saying, but you could take a highlight film and put that shit out, and let's say if he never got his chance, you know what people would have been saying? Yo, this motherfucker named Kimbo Slice, I seen him, that motherfucker, I'm telling you, he would have fucked these guys up. There's a guy right now, I don't know if he is training boxing to stay in MMA. I haven't seen any new footage of him fighting, but a guy named James the Beast Wilson. And he looks like, he got some shit. Going by his training, and people are saying the next Mike Tyson. I don't like calling somebody the next. Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. He's James Wilson. I can't sit here and tell you this guy would beat. The fights I've seen him have, he's not ready yet. Not for elite competition. Not yet. But for me to just jump conclusions because he destroyed somebody that wasn't a top tier fighter and say, yo, he's going to beat Joshua and he's going to beat Fury. I can't. I mean, like, what claim am I supporting with that? We need to see more from him. And like I said, I don't know if he's trying to go into boxing full time or if he's just back and forth, because I've known about him for like maybe 3 or 4 years now. And so I don't know. But we quick to just say a person could do something based on. So what I'm saying is, when I say, what is Bruce Lee's fight record? The only thing we can say is what we were told. Well, even people like Jim Kelly said and Chuck Norris said, look, man, one guy was like, there's guys that could hurt you. There's guys that could knock you out, but Bruce Lee could kill you. Okay. Didn't Ray Boom Boom Mancini kill somebody in the ring? Haven't we had certain fighters that died in the ring? I mean, right, Bruce is the only person that could kill someone? You understand what I'm saying? The way people say things impact the way we think a lot of times. So, yeah, man, Bruce was always that guy to us, man. Like, everybody growing up, we always imitated Bruce Lee. We out there, we all thought we was Bruce. We out there, and kung fu and kicking and all. Yeah. But we're talking about Bruce as a professional fighter. He was not a professional fighter, okay? Michael Jai White is not a professional fighter. But, like I said, putting that work in, having some fights under your belt. I'm not saying Bruce never fought people. He didn't have a career of fights, okay? That's a fact. So what I'm saying is, take your, I love Bruce Lee, no, and tap into reality and say, that's all I'm saying. What is his fight record? Who did he fight? How can we sit here and say, to me, that's just disrespectful, man. That's like Michael Jordan was rated basketball. If you thought he was going to excel at baseball just because he was great at basketball, got a wake-up call, didn't you? So it's what I'm saying. To take a person who does this shit for a living, trains every day, and goes in there and actually fight, and to say Bruce would beat that person, Bruce would kill those guys. What are you basing this shit on? a trainer can stand out and tell the greatest fighter, the greatest boxer in the game right now, okay? Or whoever the best MMA guys is right now. A trainer can stand there and tell them what you should be. Does that mean that trainer can get in there and do a better job? No. No. So basically, when we're judging a fight, we're judging, even when we say who we think would beat who, we're basing it off their fights, what we've seen them do. So when I say, what fights have Bruce Lee had that you guys are saying he would beat Sugar Ray Leonard? No, I'll say from the bullshit, he's not going to beat no fucking Sugar Ray Leonard in a boxing match, okay? If you're talking about a straight up fight, just anything goes, who knows? What if Sugar Ray punch him in the face and knock him the fuck out? You can't act like it's impossible. Oh, he's too fat. You guys really, it's not Bruce Lee. It's the people who say these ridiculous comments about what he could do. Shit that you've never seen him do. But you're saying he could do this and this because what? Because someone said, again, which is why I always make the Bigfoot reference. Because you have people, I don't believe in Bigfoot at all, okay? I watch videos and it makes me laugh because you have people making all these claims about Bigfoot did this and did that. I live out in the fucking woods and I have neighbors that claim they seen Bigfoot in their yard. They've seen this, they've seen that. I'm not going to tell you some motherfucker probably have some kind of furry suit or something that sits and fuck with you to scare you, because I've been out here and I've never fucking seen, I've seen a motherfucker with a suit on. But how do you know it was a guy in a suit? What did he do special? Nothing. And he knew to keep his ass away from the hunting grounds, right? It's certain things that you just see, you use your common sense and you know that, look, come on, man. Like, stop. But yeah, we're talking about Bruce Lee as a fighter, okay? I can't tell you what Bruce Lee's fight record is because he wasn't a professional fighter. Bruce Lee himself said, again, look it up. He said Muhammad Ali would kill me in a real fight. Okay? If you think that a 132-pound man is going to beat someone like a Michael Jai White, you think that his skills are so superior, he's like lightning fast. Oh, you just can't hit Bruce. You can't touch him. You can't. Who's to say, like, how great his opponents were that he fought? I don't give a shit about your look, I don't like putting myself in the equation to say what I did and what I do, but I can tell you this, okay? If I've physically, personally experienced a lot of things, so I know. I don't give a fuck how many black belts you have. I don't give a fuck how much, I'm a Chia, I'm a Shia, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a ninja. Look, there's a guy, okay, right now. This black dude, I don't know his name, but he has a YouTube channel. Type in like Real Live Ninja. This dude does some incredible shit, man. The side flips, the flips off the wall. He's fighting this dummy. He's throwing, this shit looks smooth. Can I sit here and watch that video and say that motherfucker will beat any MMA fighter? That motherfucker will beat, based on what? Yeah, the flips look cool. How he lands into the position and hits the dummy and all that. Again, it's not the same when something's coming back at you. And when you watch actual fighting, I've seen a guy run off a cage and kick a guy in the face. I think it was Pettis. I forget the guy name he was fighting, but Anthony Pettis. I think he was the one that did it. I've seen the guy do like some kind of flip and kick. I mean, but this is like one time, hit or miss. You don't see this shit, okay? Like a guy just doing all this shit throughout a fucking fight. I've seen a lot of, tricky shots, kicks or something that landed, but come on, man, like, let's be real. I've never seen that guy fight. I've seen him, demonstrate on hitting the dummy and doing the flips and all that shit. Like I said, I can sit here and say he could beat any of those guys because he can flip. No, it's not proof that he can beat anybody. I don't know how well this guy can fight. So basically, this is what I'm saying with Bruce, man. We all grew up watching Bruce and everybody respected Bruce. But when we're talking about professional fighting, how the fuck can we sit here and say what Bruce would do to someone when he's not a professional fighter? You have no footage. Okay, I can sit here and tell you I can score 60 points a game. First thing you're going to say is, man, prove it. I can have 20 people vouch for me and say, no, this motherfucker put up numbers. He could jump too. Yeah. You still gonna have people say, prove it. You're gonna want to see. So that's my point. What support, what claims, what do we have to support our claims? That Bruce has the power of a super heavyweight. And you've never seen him fucking fight a heavyweight. You've never seen him fight anybody. You've just seen him one sparring match. And because people are saying Bruce can do this, Bruce can do that, people tend to hype situations up and we try to make people larger than life. We respect Bruce. Bruce did his thing. But I'm saying, as a professional fighter, how do I give you the rank over other professional fighters when you're not a professional fighter? So anyway, that's my video for that. That's all I want to say on that. Catch y'all in the next one.